Little mother gonna try to rob me. Well, I'm gonna show you how we do it up here in Benton. Look, I wasn't trying to rob you. Shut up! Why I bust a cap up in you? Now who sent you?
So what's up? We standing tall in your short stuff.
Yes.
All nuts is the bullshit that you dressed up. Address us on scholarship, homie, knowing you messed up. So fessed up, you look for the best, knowing that that's us. So what's up? We standing tall in your short stuff.
Yes.
All nuts is the bullshit that you dressed up. Address us on scholarship, homie, knowing you messed up. So fessed up, you look for the best, knowing that that's us. Sword clown, know that it's over like it's the fourth down. We the source now. Hear a big bang with tanks on ground. More than a scrimmage, yeah, we forcing the sin and yeah, we pushing no limit. Leave the fight with no blemish. You the hometown, but you not receiving no privilege. We gon' do you bad, rape, rob, and pillage. But we nothing like the white man. I can see that you a big fan. Every time we go live, I see you in the damn stands. Watching and plotting, I see that you stalking a bit.
Yes.
Laughing at people, they seeing you taking
Here's the definition of plagiarism. The practice of taking someone else's work and ideas and using them all as one's
Crazy ass nigga, we the source, yeah, we cite source. Spitting hot flames more hotter than hot sauce. Germy ass nigga,
All right. Peace and blessings, family. For those that don't know, my name is YirmeYah. Please say the Yah. I am the leader of the House of the Redeemed Servant. And we're dealing with this week's Torah portion, man. Want to send a special shout out to all the brethren that are laboring, and it's true from week to week, to bring forth the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Most High have delivered unto us. All right. First and foremost, I want to say Abba Yahweh Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Going into a powerful lesson this week, man, that has certain implications concerning the children of Israel and the makeup of how we should deal with personal issues, right? Personal issues. See, what we're supposed to do in the Torah is we're supposed to take the Torah, because the Bible is a living book. All right. So we're supposed to take the Torah's teachings, right, and see how these things might apply to our everyday life and struggle. And what lessons can we glean from those examples, right? And this week's Torah portion is Genesis 32. Now, this is powerful because when it comes to certain issues that you may be dealing with personally in your own life, you should confront those issues. You should not run from those issues. And that's what we're getting from these examples. There was an issue that Jacob ran from concerning his situation with Esau and the birthright, right? He went and he moved on and made a life for himself under the stewardship of his uncle Laban. And now it's time for Jacob, after having 4 wives and multiple children and establishing himself, it's time for him to go back home and confront those issues. And these are the examples that we should glean from concerning our own personal struggles. It's not a thing to where you should leave things unresolved. All right. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. All right. We're going to share my screen. We're going to Genesis 32. Right. Genesis 32. And this is Jacob's fear of Esau. This is what is titled in the blue letter. And we're going to go into the book of Jasher to get some intimate details concerning what changed the heart or the mind of Esau. Did Esau just decide, oh, I'm a good person, so, this is my brother, let me go ahead and reconcile. Let's see if it was just in Esau's heart to make reconciliation with his brother, or was he intimidated into that understanding, right? So it says here, and Jacob went on his way, and the angel of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's host. This is very important. A lot of people don't, a lot of people have a problem with the book of Jasher, but my whole thing is this, concerning Jasher and how it aligns with the Bible. These things are lining up perfectly. So it's imperative that you understand Jacob saw them. He said, this is God's host. And he called the name of this place. And we're going to get this in the Hebrew. Let's see here. Right. It says here.
Strong's H, 4266. Mahanaim.
All right. What does this mean? This means a place eastward of Jordan named for Jacob's encounter with the angel. A Levitical city in Gad. Right. What does it mean, a Levitical city? The Levites had different areas, land allotment set aside for them in each city of the land of Israel. So each province, each tribal land had a section that was set aside for the Levites, right? For those that might not know or understand that. All right. So let's get back to Mahanaim, right? Mahanaim. All right. So it says here, and when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's host, and he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded, saying, thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau, thy servant. Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and ass and flocks and manservants and maidservants, and I have sent to my Lord that I may find grace in thy sight. And the messenger returned to Jacob, saying, we came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. So this is the message that was given to Jacob. Now, surely he was concerned about this because, well, damn, bro, why are you bringing 400 men? Because the last time they seen each other, Esau vowed to kill Jacob. All right. When Jacob was greatly afraid, then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and the herds and the camels into two bands, and said, if Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O my God of my father Abraham, and the God of my father Isaac, the Lord which saith unto me, return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. So now Jacob is praying concerning this event and concerning this distress. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast shown unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. For I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children. And thou saidest, I surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitudes. This was the promise that was given to Jacob from the Most High. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau, his brother. 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 eels and 20 rams, 30 mature camels with their coats, 40 and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 fowls. And he divided them unto the hand of his servant, every dove by themselves, and said unto his servants, pass over before me, and put a space between doves and doves. And he commanded the foremost, saying, when Esau my brother meeteth thee, and ask thee, saying, whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and who are these before thee? And thou shalt say, they be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the dove, saying, on this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say ye moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appraise him with the presence that goeth before me, and afterwards I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept of me. So Jacob is trying to make amends, before he get to Esau's presence. He's trying to make amends, right, with these gifts, because he has wronged Esau, right? Though the Most High promise you something, right? Though the Most High may promise you something, the Most High may give you gifts, the Most High may bless you, right? That doesn't alleviate the challenges that you may face concerning the gifts or the blessings that the Most High have given you, right? So when Jacob was with Laban, he had faced many challenges, but through those struggles, right, he was able to amass great wealth, all right? And so now he's trying to make amends to his brother Esau, all right? So it says, and he rose up that night and took 2 wives and 2 women servants and his eldest son, and passed over the ford Jacobah. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. All right. And this is a very famous quote, and it's important, right? It's important concerning the understanding of Jacob wrestling with an angel, which brought forth the new name, right, which brought forth the new name of Jacob. This wrestling is very spiritual, and it's a representation of the children of Israel's struggles moving forward, the future struggles with the Most High and the nation of Israel. It's a representation of that continuous struggle. So a lot of people try to demonize the children of Israel for making mistakes, falling, repenting, being forgiven, falling again, and they act as if those struggles was just with one generation. How does Israel fall? How does Israel fall and then come back and then fall again? How does this happen? Well, what you have to understand is dispensation. Shout out to Elder Lahab. You have to understand dispensations, meaning one generation falls. That same generation goes into captivity, and depending on the duration of that captivity, a new generation rises up. So in captivity, we long for autonomy. We long for our own land. We long for our own government and our own culture. We long for these things. And this is what we're supposed to be doing now, is longing for autonomy, longing for our ancestral culture. But instead of taking advantage of the time, we dive ourselves into, right? We dive ourselves into the culture in which the land in which we are in captive, instead of longing for our own. And I'm on the phone almost every day with brothers trying to magnify the importance of this. Trying to magnify, oh brother, we don't got to do that no more. Brother, we don't have to do those things of old. You think the Most High God cares about a dietary law? You think the Most High God cares about a dress code? Yes, he cares about a dress code. Yes, he cares about a dietary law, man. You think the Most High really is concerned about a Sabbath day as long as we rest? Do you think the Most High cares whether or not you keep the feast days and all that? We don't got to do that, brother. While simultaneously then embarking the culture of the land of captivity that we're in, whether we are in America, whether we are in China, whether we are in Japan, whether we are in Saudi Arabia, whether we are in Africa, the culture of the land you push on me. And you make it as if it's something wrong with me because I don't want to deal with your damn Thanksgiving. You act as if it's something wrong with me because I don't want to deal with your Christmas. You act as if it's something wrong with me because I don't want to decorate my desk at work during Halloween. It's something wrong with me. But again, right here, this wrestling with an angel with Jacob is the children of Israel wrestling with their God. When will we wake up and learn how to appreciate, right, what the Most High have given us, what the Most High have already established in antiquity concerning our culture? Because if you ask right now, what is the so-called black man, African-American man culture? Hip-hop, the NBA, football. What is our actual culture? And then when you go into the church, right, and you think, okay, I'm doing church culture, but you're not taking into consideration the evolval, right, or the morphing of the church and how it got to the way that it gets. And do the church culture go back to the practice of the apostles? You have to ask yourself, well, who were the apostles? They were Jews, right? They were Israelites of the southern kingdom. So what was their culture? Their culture was the same ancestral culture before the New Testament. They practiced the Passover. They practiced the Feast of Dedication. They practiced first fruits. They practiced Purim. What are these high holy days? These are high holy days for us to remember and then infer unto the next generation to remember the great deliverances that the Most High have given to the children. This is what the purpose is. Also, these feast days have spiritual implications, such as the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Well, what is the Feast of Unleavened Bread? The Feast of Unleavened Bread is where you to take out of your house all of the leaven. Leaven represents sin. Our bodies are the temple of God. So we should take out our leaven, sin, out of our own lives. That's what these things represent. First fruit, what does it represent spiritually? It's where we give our dedication of the best of our first harvest, dealing with agriculture, unto the Most High, right? And there's a systematic governmental system and structure where the government is supposed to provide for the poor. We don't think about these things concerning first fruits. So we would give and take a tenth of our yielding to the priest. The priest would store these things, and any of the Israelites that may have fallen on hard times could come to the priest and be fed and be sustained because of the offering of abundance that was given from the nation of Israel as they practice first fruits. You don't practice first fruits. You have been taught tithing and offerings to replace the practice of first fruits, to replace the Feast of Unleavened Bread, to replace these ancestral cultures in which we are supposed to bind ourselves to, right? And start to practice these things within our own communities so we can have a system within ourselves, right? So it's imperative that we understand this breakdown here, right? So it says Jacob wrestles with an angel. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of day. He wrestled all night. So the children of Israel will wrestle until the end. Understand the spiritual implications. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And he said, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." And he said, "I will not let thee go, except thou bless me." And he said unto him, "What is thy name?" And he said, "Jacob." And he said, "Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel." Right? He who wrestles with God, right? Or as we look at it in ancient Hebrew, Yasha'Allah, right? He who is the prince of the power. It says here, "For as a prince has thou power with God." See? Yasha'Allah. As a prince, thou hast power with God and with men, and has prevailed. Now, my question is, if Jacob prevails with God and with man, if Jacob prevails, how could there be equal salvation for man and Jacob? There has to be one above another. This is what salvation entails. Jacob prevails. Nations, Gentiles, heathen, they follow. Now, don't get mad at me. That's thus saith the scriptures. As we see here, it says what? As a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. How can Jacob and the Gentile nations both prevail? There has to be a prevailing power or a prevailing person and another one that did not prevail. You cannot pit Jacob against the nations and say Jacob prevails and also the nation prevails. That's impossible. That's impossible. The difference is that Jacob prevailing in righteousness is not the same as the heathen prevailing in wickedness. There's a stark difference. The Bible says, when the righteous ruleth, the people rejoice. But when the wicked ruleth, the people mourn. So, despite whatever nation you may be, if you are not of the nation of Israel, you should be cheering for the righteous nation to prevail, because it's beneficial to everyone. But you have a problem with that terminology because you have been indoctrinated in God loving everybody and everybody being equal. But yet you live today, right now, in a place where there's no equality. None. And you want to argue with me about the promises that God gave to a people that you now want to hijack from that people. Anytime you steal something, it is imperative to make an amends, to give back what you stole. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Scriptures, man. Okay? Let's look at this here. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou didst ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God's face to face, and my life is preserved. Now, it's important that we understand that the preserving of your life based upon your interaction with the Most High is evidence of the approval of the Most High, or the evidence of your opportunity to make an amends with the Most High. As long as you live, you have that opportunity. Verse 31, and as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose up on him, and he hath upon his thigh. Therefore, the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which is upon the hollow of the thigh. Right? So let's look at this. All right, let's look here.
Strong's H, 5384. Nashe. Nashe.
Nashe, right? Veins. So the children of Israel do not eat veins or tendons in the thigh, right? This became a part of what? Their dietary law, as I spoke about earlier, right? All right. So I just wanted to show that, right? So let's move on here. 33. Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, this is 33:1, Genesis 33:1. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came with him 400 men, and he divided the children of Leah and the children of Rachel, and unto the two handmaidens. And he put the handmaidens and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after Rachel. And Joseph's, verse 33:3. And he passed over before him and bowed himself to the ground 7 times. How many times? 7 times. 7 is the number of completion, right? These things are important when you're reading the text. How many times? 7 times, until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and children and said, who are these with thee? And he said, the children which God hath graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaids came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. Let me say this too, right? Let me say this too. A lot of us, a lot of these cultures that you see, like in Asian culture, like in Chinese, when they greet each other, they bow, and we think that that's something that just comes from them. No, but we see this in the scriptures. We see a lot of this stuff, man. In the Middle East, when the women be wearing the hijabs, that's come from us. The bowing, right, comes from us. But when you take a people, when you separate them from their culture, they lose these small, intricate things. So when we go in the Bible, we see these ancient practices or ancient cultural acts. We have to make sure that we magnify the origins of these things. So it says here that they came near, they and their children, and they what? Bowed themselves, right? And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, what meanest thou by all these doves which I met? And he said, these are to find grace in thy sight, in the sight of my Lord. Right? And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself. And Jacob said, nay, I pray thee, if now I find grace in thy sight, then receive my presence at my hands. For therefore I have seen thy face as though I had seen the face of God, and thou hast pleased with me. And thou wast pleased with me. take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God have dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. And he said, let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. And he said unto him, my Lord, knowing that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me, and if men shall overdrive them, one day all the flocks will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure until I come unto my Lord unto Seir. Right? So as we can see, right? As we can see the story, and that's the story in the Bible. Jacob sends a caravan of goods unto Esau, and then Esau sees Jacob, and they embrace and they cry, and the story's over. Something dear in Esau's heart, that he just saw his brother, and he just loved his brother, and it was just something nice about him. No, we're going to go into the book of Jasher, right? And we're going to get some more details concerning what actually happened, what actually turned the heart of Esau, because Esau led with 400 men to meet Jacob. Why? If he was just so happy to see him, why he didn't just come with his family, or come with a few of his sons and some sort of ambassadorship and greet his brother? No, something happened. Something happened that turned the heart of Esau. We're going to look at it, right? Someone asked me, am I Old Testament only, or do I believe in both? I believe in both. I believe in a Mashiach Yahushua, by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. I am a Messianic Hebrew Israelite. All right. To believe in just the Old Testament, you cast off a wealth of historical relevance of the children of Israel concerning the prophecy that was written in Daniel about the four beasts. You don't know nothing about the four beasts if you stop at Malachi, right? Because you cut off the invasion of the Greeks, you cut off the invasion of Rome. All right. If I just read the Old Testament only. No, I am a Messianic Israelite. All right, brother. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, so let's get back to it, right? So it says here, we're going to go to Jasher, and we're going to look and see what actually happened here, right? So as you remember with the story, Jacob sent an envoy, right, to meet Jacob, and he was so greatly, greatly happy to see his brother. Let's try to see where I want to start at. Let's start at Laban. Laban's a low down dirty dog, first of all. All right. Let me say this, right? Laban's a low down dirty dog because Laban tried to manipulate the whole situation with Jacob, taking advantage of the blessing that the Most High was bestowing upon Jacob, as those blessings in turn made Laban rich. Laban was a severe opportunist, and Laban, was an idolater. Right? But the Bible says, he that blesses Jacob shall be blessed. Right? So if you believe that, if you believe the Bible, you should be trying to help an Israelite instead of waking up every day trying to figure out a way how to demonize the Hebrew Israelite movement and awakening, right? If you believe the words of the Most High God. And let me prove that, right? This is the blessings that was given to Jacob, right? It says here, let me get to it. All right. So it says, let's get to it. His firstborn. All right, he says, and Isaac, verse 21, and Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. All right, let's go down. All right, let's go down. And come near and kiss me, my son. Let's see. Therefore, give. All right, here we go. Verse 28. Therefore, God give thee the dew of heaven. Here's the blessing that went to Jacob. And therefore, God gave thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth, right? And plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Now, how is this possible if everybody is the same? Why would these blessings be important, family? Wake up, man. Let people serve thee. Y'all got a problem with that. You got a problem with the Bible saying to Jacob, God saying to Jacob, let people serve thee. You got a problem with that. And what? And nations bow down to thee. This bow down is not just only bowing of the head, but also in reverence, in finance, in wealth, in livestock, and cattle, and on and so forth. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that bless thee. See? So that's important. That's important, right? So let's look at Laban and the move that he pulled on Jacob, right? So we're going to start at, I'm thinking 58. We'll be able to get the gist of it. We're going to start at 58, right? Let's see if we can blow this up some. Blow up the world. All right. All right. We're going to start at 58. And God blessed him. This is the book of Jasher, chapter 31, verse 58. And God blessed him on my account and increased him abundantly and had sons, daughters, and maidservants, right? Hold on, let me see. I want to see where it says. Okay. All right, so let's start here. Verse 55. And they hastened and went and passed over the road before Jacob and came. I'm trying to see because I want to make sure that you guys are understand what's going on, right? All right, and he hastened and sent off his son, Bor, who was 17 years old, with Achior of the sons of the son of Nahor, with them 10 men. And they hastened and went and passed on the road before Jacob. And they came by another road to the land of Seir, right? And they came unto Esau and said unto him, Thus saith thy brother and relative, thy mother's brother Laban. So Laban sent messages unto Esau. Look at what Laban is trying to do because he's upset about Jacob leaving. Thy mother's brother Laban, the son of Bethuel, saying, hast thou heard what Jacob thy brother has done unto me? Who first came to me naked and bare, and went to meet him. And I went to meet him and brought him to my house with honor. I made him great, and I gave him my 2 daughters for wives, and also of my maids. And God blessed him on my account. You see how Laban is talking here, family? Oh, and God blessed him on my account, right? And increased him abundantly, and had sons, daughters, and maidservants. So now he's giving up. He's like, yo, Jacob he got the bag, son. Right? Jacob got the bag. Right? Trying to give up the ghost. Right? And he also, and in numerous stock of flocks and herds, camels, asses, also silver and gold in abundance. And when he saw that his wealth, right, increased, he left me, right, whilst I went to shear my sheep. And he rose up and fled in secrecy. And he left his wives and his children upon camels, and he led away all his cattle and property, which he acquired in my land. And he lifted up his head, he lifted up his countenance to go to his father's Isaac, to the land of Canaan. Right? Verse 61. And he did not suffer me to even kiss my daughters and their children. He led my daughters as captives, taking by the sword. Laban is just really laying it on thick, ain't he? And he also stole my gods. And he left and fled. And now I have left him in the mountains of the brook of Jabbok, him and all belonging to him. He lacked nothing. If it be thy wish to go then, and there wilt thou find him, and thou canst do unto him as thy soul desireth. And Laban's messengers came and told Esau all these things. Now Laban's a low down dirty dog. Okay. Laban's a low down dirty dog. Listen, he got gold, he got silver, he got livestock. You can go and do anything you want to with him. This is a family quarrel, by the way. Laban is Jacob and Esau's uncle on his mother's side. See? And they got beef, so he want to call the brother, knowing that the brother had beef, right? So let's go on. It says here, and Esau heard all the words of Laban's messengers, and his anger was greatly kindled against Jacob. And he remembered his hatred, and his anger burned within him. Now, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Didn't Esau run up on Jacob and, oh, my brother, and kisses and hugs and all this? What happened? What happened, Esau? How do you go from this hatred to hugs and kisses? You're going to find out. Right? And Esau hastened and took his children and 70, it took his children and servants and the souls of his household, being 60 men, and he went and assembled all the children of Seir, the Horites, and their children, and their people, being 340 men, and took all this number and 400 men with drawn swords. And he went unto Jacob to smite him. And Esau divided this number unto several parts. And he took the 60 men of his children, of his children and servants, and the souls of his household as one head, and gave them in care of Eliphaz, his eldest son. And the remaining heads he gave to the care of 6 sons of Seir, the Horites. He placed every man over his generation and children. And the whole of his camp went as it was, and Esau went amongst them toward who? Jacob. And he conducted them with speed. And the messengers of Laban departed from Esau and went to the land of Canaan, and they came to the house of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. And they told her, saying, behold, thy son Esau is gone against his brother Jacob with 400 men, for he heard that he had cometh, and he is gone to make war with him. And he smite him, and to take all that he has. This is what's being told to Rebekah. And Rebekah hastened and sent 70, and sent servants, 2 men from the servants. Sent 72 men from the servants of Isaac to meet Jacob on the road. For she peradventure Esau may make war in the road when he meets him. Right? And these messengers went on the road to meet Jacob, and they met him in the road of the brook on the opposite side of the brook, and of the brook Jabbok. And Jacob said, when he saw them, this camp is destined to meet me from God. And Jacob called the name of that place Methel. We got that word earlier. It's the same word as here. Mahanaim. All right, Mahanaim. And Jacob knew all his father's peoples, and he kissed them and embraced them and came with them. And Jacob asked them concerning his father and mother, and they said they were well. And these messengers said unto Jacob, Rebekah thy mother has sent us to thee, saying, I have heard, my son, that thy brother Esau is gone forth against thee on the road with men from the children of Seir, the Horites. And therefore, my son, hearken to my voice and see with thy counsel what thou wilt do. And when he cometh up to thee, supplicate him, and do not speak rashly to him, and give him a present from what thou possess, and from what God has favored unto thee. See, so this was instructions, right? These were instructions, right, family? These were instructions from Jacob's mother. But when you read it in the Bible, it's as if it just came from Jacob's own mind. Just Jacob thought to do these things. But no, these were instructions from his mother, who loves him dearly, right? On how to deal with Esau. All right? I want to make that clear. And when he asked thee concerning thy affairs, conceal nothing from him. Perhaps he may turn from his anger against thee, and thou wilt thereby save thy soul, thou and all belonging to thee, for it is thy duty to honor him. Why? Because he is his elder brother. For he is thy elder brother. Yeah, exactly. All praise and glory. All right. Let's see here. And when Jacob heard the words of his mother, which the messengers had spoken to him, Jacob lifted up his voice and wept bitterly, and did as his mother then commanded him. Right? All right. Book of Jasher, chapter 32. And at that time, Jacob sent messengers to his brother Esau toward the land of Seir, and he spoke to him words of supplication. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye say to my lord, to Esau, Thus saith the Lord thy servant Jacob, let not my Lord imagine that my father's blessings with which he did bless me. Let's make it clear, which he did bless me, okay, has proved beneficial to me. For I have been these 20 years with Laban, and he did deceive me and change my wages 10 times, as it has all been already told unto my Lord. And I served him in his house very laboriously. And God afterwards saw my affliction, my labor, and the work of my hands. And he cursed me to find grace, Salakia caused me to find grace and favor in his sight. And I afterwards, through God's great mercy and kindness, acquired ox and ass and cattle and maid servants. And now I am come to my Lord, Salakia, I've come to my land and my home, to my fathers and mother who are in the land of Canaan, and I have sent to let my Lord know all this in order to find favor in thy sight of my Lord, so that he may not imagine that I have of myself obtained wealth, or that the blessings with which my father blessed me has benefited me. And those messengers went to Esau and found him in the border of the land of Edom, going toward Jacob. And 400 men of the children of Seir, the Horites, were standing with drawn swords. And the messengers of Jacob told Esau all the words of Jacob had spoken to them concerning Esau. And Esau answered them with pride. How did he answer? With pride and contempt, and said unto them, surely I have heard the truth. Surely I have heard, and truly it has been told unto me what Jacob has done to Laban. So Laban already sent this to Esau, and Esau is thinking that Jacob is now lying about what he told him about his affairs. It has been told unto me what Jacob has done to Laban, who exalted him in his house and gave him his daughters for wives, and he begat sons and daughters, and abundantly increased in wealth and in riches in Laban's house through his means. And when he saw that his wealth was abundant and his riches great, he fled with all belonging to him from Laban's house, and he led Laban's daughters away from the face of their father as captives taken by a sword, without telling him of it. And not only to Laban has Jacob done this, but also unto me has he done so, and has twice supplanted me, and shall I be silent? Now, therefore, I have this day come with my camp to meet him, and I will do unto him according to the desire of my heart. And the messengers returned and came to Jacob and said unto him, we came to thy brother Esau, and we told him all thy words, and thus has he answered us, and behold, he cometh to meet with him 400 men. Now then know and see what thou shalt do, and pray before God to deliver thee from him. And when he heard the words of his brother, which he had spoken to the messengers of Jacob, Jacob was greatly afraid, and he was distressed. And Jacob prayed to the Lord his God, and he said, O Lord, God of my father Abraham and Isaac, thou didst say unto me when I went away from my father's house. So again, when we read these things, we're getting additional information concerning this story and this account concerning Jacob and Esau. So we read that now this is when he wrestles with an angel. Let's read. I am the Lord God of thy father Abraham and the God of Isaac. Unto thee do I give this land, and Salaki, I'm just trying to make sure that I didn't finish. All right. I gave this land and thy seed after thee, and thy seed after thee, not to everybody. And I will make thy seed as the stars of heaven, and thou shalt spread forth to the four sides of heaven, and in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. That is correct. Look here. All the families of the earth shall be blessed when the righteous ruleth. Verse 18. And thou didst establish thy words, and didst give unto me riches and children and cattle, as the uttermost wishes of my heart didst thou give unto thy servant. Thou didst give unto me all that I asked from thee, so that I lack nothing. And thou didst afterwards say unto me, return to thy parents and to thy birthplace, and I will still do well with thee. And now that I have come and thou didst deliver me from Laban, I shall fall in the hands of Esau, who will slay me, yea, together with my mothers, with the mothers of my children. Now, therefore, O Lord, deliver me, I pray thee, also from the hands of my brother Esau, for I am greatly afraid of him. And if there is no righteousness in me, do it for the sake of Abraham and my father Isaac. For I know that though kindness and mercy I have acquired this wealth. Now, therefore, I beseech thee to deliver me this day with thy kindness and to answer me. And Jacob ceased from praying to the Lord, and he did divide the people that were with him with the flocks and cattle 2 camps, and he gave the half to the care of Damascus, the son of Eleazar, Abraham's servant. Okay. For a camp with thee, with his children, and the other half he gave to the care of his brother Elias, the son of Eleazar, to be for a camp with his children. And he commanded them, saying, keep yourself. Hold on. I want to make this clear, right? So Eleazar was the servant of Abraham, right? Say right here. Eleazar, the servant of Abraham, had a son. His son was Damascus, right? And he had another son, Elanias, right here. These 2 sons, which were the son of Eleazar, became the servants of Jacob, right? Servants being passed down as an inheritance. I want to make that clear. All right. And it came to pass, and he commanded them, saying, keep yourselves at a distance with the camps, and do not come too near each other. And if Esau come to one camp and slay it, the other camp at a distance from it will escape him. And Jacob tarried there that night, and during the whole night he gave his servant instructions concerning the forces and his children. And the Lord heard the prayer of Jacob on that day. And the Lord then delivered Jacob from the hands of his brother Esau. How did he do that? And the Lord sent 3 angels of the angels of heaven, and they went before Esau and came to him. And these angels appeared unto Esau and his people as 2,000 men riding upon horses, furnished with all sorts of war instruments, and they appeared in the sight of Esau and all his men to be delivered unto the 4 camps, with 4 chiefs to them. And one camp went on, and they found Esau coming with 400 men toward his brother Jacob. And this camp ran toward Esau and his people and terrified them. And Esau fell off the horse in arms, and all his men separated from him in that place, for they were greatly afraid. And the whole of the camp shouted after them when they fled from Esau, and all that warlike men answered, saying, surely we are thy servant, and Jacob, surely we are the servants of Jacob, who is the servant of God, and who then can stand against us? And Esau said unto them, oh, then my Lord and my brother Jacob is your Lord, who I am not seen for these 20 years. And now that I have this day come to see him, do you treat me in this manner? So now you're trying to clean it up. You're trying to clean up the worlds, but that ain't going to work. And the angels answered him, saying, as the Lord liveth, we're not Jacob of whom thou speakest, thy brethren. We had not let one remaineth from thee. And let me read that again. And the angel answered him, saying, as the Lord liveth, were not Jacob of whom thou speakest thy brother? We had not let one remaining from thee and thy people, but only on account of Jacob. We will do nothing to them. And this camp passed from Esau and his men, and it went away, and Esau and his men had gone forth from them about a league, when the second camp came toward him with all sorts of weapons, and they also did unto Esau and his men as the first camp had done to them. And when they had left it to go on, behold, the third camp came toward him, and they were all terrified. And Esau fell off his horse, and the whole camp cried out and said, surely we are the servants of Jacob, who is the servant of God, and who can stand against us? And Esau again answered them, saying, oh, then Jacob my Lord, and your Lord is my brother, and for 20 years I have not seen his countenance. And hearing this day that he was coming, I went this day to meet him. And do you treat me in this manner? And they answered him and said unto him, as the Lord liveth, were not Jacob thy brother, as thou didst say, we had not left a remnant from thee and thy men, but on account of Jacob, since you are Jacob's brother, of him thou didst speak, being thy brother, we will not meddle with thee or thy men. And the third camp also passed them, and he said, and he still continued his road with his men toward Jacob, when the fourth camp came toward him, and they also did unto him and his men as the others had done. And when Esau behold the evil which the fourth angel had done to him and to his men, he became greatly afraid of his brother Jacob, and he went to meet him in peace. And Esau concealed his hatred against Jacob because he was afraid of his life on account of his brother Jacob, and because he imagined that the four camps that came, he had lightened upon where Jacob servants. And Jacob tarried that night with his servants in the camps, and he resolved with his servants to give unto Esau a present from all that he had, right? So, as you all can see, to answer your question on why Esau was happy to see his brother is because the Most High God sent angels to confront him and saying, hey, the only reason you alive and the only reason we don't lay the smack down on your candy ass is because of Jacob. Okay? Understand this, man. All right? And it happened 4 times according to the account that we read in Jasher, right? So with that, man, I appreciate the sincere support, man. Keep the faith, man, as we continue to bring forth the Torah portion from week to week. Peace and blessings.
All different type of information every week. Let me speak. If you subscribe, we're going deep. Love talk, sister E. God